Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupatamahim Dadati Swapadamtikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapatakamalān Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatānvitam Tam Sajivam Sadbhaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Anvitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Nam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatar Panchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpati Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Do let me know if you can hear me well.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you, see you. Very good.
Okay, nice. Okay, let's begin with reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 4, chapter 25, from verse number 9, if I'm not wrong. Right?
Prabhuji, I think until 9 I read last time. Prabhuji.
Okay, so we'll take it from there. And then, yeah, so let me know if you see. Okay. Okay. Who would like to read? We have some who are not joined today because of other programs. We'll not cover too many verses, but we will cover good depth. Yeah. So let me know if you're able to see the screen, and if someone volunteers to read, please read the verse from 10 to 15.
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes. Sindhuja Mata. Yeah. So for continuity, maybe you can read from 9 till 15. Okay.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Translation. With verse, Prabhuji? Or?
No, from verse number 9. 9.
Yeah. In this connection, I wish to narrate an old history connected with the character of a king called Puranjaya.
Puranjana.
Please try Puranjana. Please try to hear me with great attention. My dear king, once in the past lived a king named Puranjana who was celebrated for his great activities. He had a friend named Avi, Avin,
Avignata.
Avignata. No one could understand the activities of Avignata. The king Puranjana began to search for a suitable place to live, and thus he traveled all over the world. Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just to his liking. Finally, he became morose and disappointed. King Puranjana had unlimited desires for sense enjoyment. Consequently, he traveled all over the world to find a place where all his desires could be fulfilled. Unfortunately, he found a feeling of insufficiency everywhere. Once, while wandering in his way, he saw on the southern side of Himalayas, in a place named Bharatavarsha, India, a city that had 9 gates all about, and was characterized by all auspicious facilities. The city was surrounded by walls and parks, and within it were towers, canals, windows, and outlets. The houses they were decorated with domes made of gold, silver, and iron. The floors of the houses in that city were made of sapphire, crystal, diamonds, pearls, emeralds, and rubies. Because of the luster of the houses in the capital, the city was compared to the celestial town named Bhogavati.
Thank you. Thank you, Sindhu Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
How was it reading? Yes, of course, few verses.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I went to Bharatavarsha and I saw the domes. Like I felt like I was there. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskutcham Narancheva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So this is a very, very interesting pastime that is being narrated by Maitreya Rishi to Vidura. Mm. And this is after it's coming after Rudra Gita. Lord Shiva has blessed the Prachetas, the 10 sons of Prachina Parishat, what is the best way to attain ultimate success. That is by reading and reciting that Rudra Gita, which is glorifying the Lord. Then comes this, yeah, this is very nice that while the sons are engaged in the austerities and making their life perfect, Narada Muni visits uh, the kingdom of Mahishmati, where King Prachina Parishit is enjoying. The way that he enjoys, of course, is aligned in accordance with the Vedas. So, which means performing sacrifices, yajnas, and through which one can attain great results, fruits. And in that way, king is absorbed in his own uh, activities and sense enjoyment. And great devotee Narad Muni, out of compassion upon him, he visited. Last week we discussed one of the reasons why Narad Muni had special compassion towards Prachina Parishat is because he comes in the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj. Then here Narad Muni is going to narrate a story. Mm. But in fact, the story is very interestingly is about Prachina Parishat himself. Yeah. So Narad Muni starts saying that there is a king called Puranjana. Puranjana. And he is going to say, and he is asking, please try to hear me with great attention. This is very important. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Yeah. So the Smaranam stage can happen when we have a very focused level of hearing. Shravanam is not just like, okay, doing two things, three things at same time where hearing can anyway go in when there is a gap. No, hearing is very, very attentive process. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, yeah, yoga, one may see that, okay, he's not moving, he's not going anywhere, he is focused. Uh, but it needs tremendous amount of energy and focus. And then only that yoga yields good result. Whether we talk about pranayam or whether we talk about dharana or dhyana or even to the stage of samadhi, it is not that, okay, if one forgets himself in the samadhi, doesn't mean that he is not doing anything, but he is so much focused to attain that. Similarly, here Narad Muni is telling to the king, yeah, and this is very important when great sages come in our life. Like last week we discussed, it's very, very important that we are dedicating our time, our resources, and yeah, so that whatever they are saying, we are able to pick them up and apply them. Yeah, if they are giving us a foolproof solution, which is maybe 100 steps, uh, one should understand that no, it doesn't come just like that. One has to start with first step. So whatever that we can take, whatever that is easy for us to do, so we start from there, and then we start applying that in our life, and slowly, slowly, the taste will increase. Without the taste, we cannot do anything. We may just want to do something, but okay, there are so many issues, whether it is our circumstances, whether our health, whether our uh, position, whether our all these and also inclinations because of our past karma, and so many things are reasons why we are not able to take to bhakti today. But the mercy of the sadhus, when the saintly person come, what they do is they are not just telling us what is life, what is God, what is bhakti and all. They are also giving us instructions. Sometimes these instructions are direct instructions and sometimes they are indirect instructions. In the case of King Prachina Parishad, the instructions were not as straight as Lord Shiva has given to his sons, because Prachetas were already ready to take austerities before getting married so that they can execute their duties properly. But in the case of Prachina Parishad, he is already doing, he's already the king, and he has been doing sacrifices, which means it will give good results, piety for the people, less taxes, more pleasure, happiness, everything. And he himself also enjoys and thinking that is the end of the life. That's what we have to do. That is the goal of life. So here, Narad Muni, he enters into the life of Prachina Parishad, and he's saying that, oh, king, I'm going to tell a very old history story, and this is about a king called Puranjan. Yeah, and please try to hear me with great attention. Saying so, he starts narrating who is this king and what did he do, and each verse is in itself very intricate with lot of confidential insights. Yeah, where here I think already Sindhu Mataji, when you're reading, you can already see. Yeah, it looks like a normal, right? It looks, but why did Narad Muni have to tell a story? Yeah, he's not interested. Narad Muni, who is a Rajarshi, who is a Devarshi, not Rajarshi, who is a Devarshi, who is always absorbed in glorifying the names of the Lord and singing, and why does he have to tell a story to king? It's not that, but he wants to use the means of a story and to give an allegorical representation of Prachina Parishad's own life. Only thing is the names are changed. Instead of saying, hey, you Prachina Parishad, you are, uh, rather he said there is a king called Puranjana. And Puranjana also fits to him, and not only fits to him, it fits to everyone. Why? Because Puranjana means Puranjana. Puran means a fort, a body. Yeah. Jana means one who is residing, and which means as we, as soul, are also residing in the body. And this whole allegorical mm, narration that Narad Muni is going to tell, if we just see that this Puranjana is me, everything fits absolutely perfectly. That it is a story of one own self. Yeah. So in this way, um, Narad Muni is narrating this. And here we see also that as because we are too much busy in our lives and do not have uh, uh, sometimes do not know what to do, or sometimes even if we know what to do, we don't know how to do. Uh, uh, so what are we actually doing? Sometimes because of too much busyness, we forget the purpose of our life. Even sometimes we may be able to know this knowledge, we may have this wisdom, but because of the course of actions of days, the life, we may forget that. So someone has to come into our life and wake us up. In the case of King Prachina Parishad, it was Narad Muni. Narad Muni came and he woke him up with this story. So in our life, yeah, so that's why whenever sadhus come in our life, we should give due respect, we should give due time for them, so that it is only for our benefit. As like Sukadeva Goswami, it is said that Sukadeva Goswami doesn't stay at a home more than the time it takes to milk a cow, and that too not for his own pleasure that he can stay there. He's taking bhiksha, and then no, he's staying that so that in that time he is going to impart that knowledge, wisdom, so that they can get the seed of bhakti in their life and attain perfection. So here we see. And in the case of yeah, and the instructions sometimes are indirect. Here we see that because Prachina Parishad cannot understand, just like we may not also understand the reality of life, we may think I understood. But depending on our level, depending on our understanding, uh, they select the ways how to present it. So here, in the case of Prachina Parishad, Narad Muni told, uh, the story of his own self in a different way. And then, uh, yeah, he's calling, there is a king called Puranjana who enjoys, one who enjoys in a body itself is the meaning of it. And Narad Muni is going to say, mm, uh, this whole, yeah, so that he's saying, yeah, you know what? The vultures, the birds in the sky, they are ready to eat you because one day you have already killed them, and now that time is theirs. So this, we can see that Narad Muni did not directly deprecate the that no, you should not kill animals. No, he didn't say that. Whereas we see in Gautam Buddha, in the case of Buddha, we see that he uh, in Srila Jayadeva Goswami's Dashavatara Stotram, there is this Nindasi Yajna Vidher Aha Shruti Jatam, means to deny the Vedic authority. Gautam Buddha came, Buddha came, he has denied. I don't know if we should say Gautam Buddha, yeah, but the incarnation of the Lord who came and he has denied this. Uh, the Lord Buddha directly denied it, whereas Narad Muni is not directly denying it, whereas he is still talking in the lines of Vedas, uh, and he speaks further. So it is said that Upadesho hi murkanam prakopaya na shantaye. This is very, very important because to understand who is a Muda, to understand who is a fool, we need to understand that what he does when we give him a valuable instruction. If good instructions are given to a foolish rascal, he simply becomes angry and turns against the instruction instead of taking advantage of them. So what happens is Upadesho hi Murkhanam. So when Upadesha instructions are given to Murkha, Prakopaya na Shantaye. They become angry and they are not peaceful. Yeah, we can see in the example of Ramayana that Vibhishan was telling to his own brother, not someone else, to his own elder brother, that this is what you should not do. This is what you should do. That immediately agitated him. That not only agitated him, that also agitated Indrajit. I think Gaur Bhagwan Prabhu would have already covered a good length of Yuddhakanda in last days. That covers that when a person gives a valuable advice, but if a person is not in a position to accept it, it's mere waste. It only agitates them. So in this way, Narad Muni knows this very well that he indirectly instructed King Prachina Parishad, giving him the history of his entire life. So, in order to wear a gold or diamond nose pin or earring, one has to pierce the ear or nose. Such pain endures for the sake of sense gratification is endured on the path of karma kanda. This is very important. We are thinking that by karma kanda people will be very happy. If I practice the karma kanda, which means doing the whatever Vedas are telling as it is, I can enjoy. No, the karma kandiyas, one who are interested in enjoyment, comfort, what they have to do, they have to work hard. No one is going to give them just like that, especially in the days of recession, in the days of all kinds of disasters, natural or artificial exploitation, and all these things. Earning money is not easy, and we know with money we make merries. Yeah? Money is the fuel, uh, the oil of life, so that one can enjoy. So, if one wishes to enjoy something in future, he has to work out today. Of course, one may take loans, one may take mortgages, one may take credit, and they can say, okay, let me enjoy now, pay later. That's more painful because yeah, the interest is more to be paid. Rather, you earn and then spend. Because if you earn and then spend, you don't pay that interest. But people who are interested in enjoying now, they have to work out very hard later because they have to pay the extra. So if one wants to become a millionaire in the future and enjoys his riches, he has to work very hard at the present moment in order to accumulate wealth. And those people are called karma kandiyas. Those who are too much attached to such a path undergo the risk anyway because of because of interest. Narad Muni wanted to tell Prachina Parishad how one undergoes great troubles and miseries in order to engage in fruitful activities. So this is also we need to understand. Yeah, of course, it's not too difficult to understand because we can very self-relate in this. Maybe Sanuj Prabhu, you may think that, hey, I am just a student, I don't know. Uh, I don't think life can be so miserable. After all, I've been thinking life is all about fun and enjoyment. You can just ask Satish Prabhu, and Satish Prabhu can ask Parth Prabhu, and Parth Prabhu can ask someone else. So in that way, we can see a chain of how this world, if we want to become a Vishayi, Vishayi means one who is enjoyer of Vishaya. Vishaya means material comforts, sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. Narad Muni is indirectly telling that eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are troublesome and risky. And then for that reason, we may not say, hey, it's only problem of 21st century. No, it's not even a problem of that time, but Narad Muni is relating at old history. We are talking how far. Now the story has happened in during the Satya Yuga time where Narad Muni is narrating all these things. So very well, it means that these problems are there even before. Anadi karma phale, padi, bhavarnava jale, taribare na dekhi upaya. Due to my past fruitful activities, I have fallen into the water of material existence. Bhavarnava. Bhavarnava jale is this water causal with suffering. And I cannot find any way to get out. This is what Bhakti Vinod Thakur is singing in the prayer. So we should understand that we do not want to become this Puranjanas. Mm. Though we are in this body, there is a way out that we can escape from this. So the real evolution is the history of living entity who is Puranjana, living within the body. So Narada Muni will explain this evolutionary theory in a different way for understanding of sane people like us. Asit Puranjano Nama Raja Rajan Brihach Shrava. He's saying, oh, my dear king, once in the past lived a king named Puranjan who was celebrated for his great activities. Hmm. In this, Tasya Vignata Namasit Sakha Vignata Chetasa. This is very important. So what happened is he had a friend named Abhignata. Abhignata means you may have heard Abhignata Shakuntalam, in which Shakuntal, who is the mother of King Bharat, what was his name? Dushyanta, I think. Dushyanta, yeah. Dushyanta forgets his past because of some curse. One second. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, in that Abhigyata is a word that means the unknown one. And here we see again, no one could understand the activities of Abhignata. It is said that though he has a friend, usually we should know our friends very well, right? Sindhu Mataji, if you have a friend, do you know him or her? Hmm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
How much do we know?
Mm, Like,
Hmm?
when we have best friends from school and college,
Even if
and
it is the best friend, how much do we know?
not more, Prabhuji, just now, hello, hi. Also, now we don't have contacts also.
Okay. Anyone
Yeah,
else claim a different position? Not much, right? And we are talking here about, yeah, Narad Muni is telling about not our best friends whom we think that, oh, she or he. Here, Narad Muni is saying there is a king called Puranjan and he had a best friend and they always lived together. Hmm. No one could understand the activities of Abhignata. This is, we cannot dare to say, hey, I know everything of my best friend. Why? Because the best friend here we are, Narad Muni is referring is to the super soul, the Lord who is inside us. And now, how much do we know, Ratikeli Mataji, that Avijnata? Hmm? Sorry,
Yeah.
how much do you know?
We don't know.
You don't know. That's why. Yeah. So it's still valid, right? Whatever
Mm.
Narad Muni said that time is still valid today. So in that way, every living entity is Puranjan. The word Puran within the body, within this form, and Jana means living entity. Thus, everyone is Puranjan. Every living entity is supposed to be the king of his body because the living entity is given full freedom to use his body as he likes. Isn't it? Huh? Is there some restrictions? Is there someone? Huh? No, we have the full freedom to use our body. He usually engages his body in sense enjoyment. That is a problem. So when we are given the freedom, when we misuse, then such freedom will only bind us. Mm. People may ask, "Na, yeah, I have been given a free will. Then why am I suffering?" Yeah. So if I don't know swimming and if with my free will, if I jump into the waters, what will happen? I'll suffer. So he usually engages his body for sense enjoyment because one who is in his bodily concept of life feels that ultimate goal of life is to do what? Sense enjoyment, serving the senses. That is what is called karma kanda. One who has no inner knowledge, who does not know that he is actually the spirit soul, living within the body, who is simply enamored by the dictation of senses is called materialist. The word materialist in Sanskrit is nothing but Puranjan. Hmm? Because such materialistic person utilizes his senses according to his whims, he may also be called king. Why? Because king means one who is the ruler. So we are ruling the senses. Yeah. But of course, dictated by the senses, we are servants of the senses. So in that way, an irresponsible king takes the royal position to be his personal property and misuses his treasure for sense gratification. Um, so in that way, we see mm, the word Shrava means fame. The living entity is famous from ancient times. Najayate mriyate va kadachin. We know this, right? In mm, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, what is he saying? Najayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya. Ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano. Shashvatoyam purano means I am eternal. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire means it's saying that nothing can destroy this body. It means actually, sorry, nothing can destroy me. Yeah, not body. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. It is saying that he is not slain when the body is slain. When the sharira is gone, still the self is still there. So that is the understanding. But because one is enjoying, he forgets this. Thus, the living entity transmigrates from one body to the other body and performs various activities. This is the business what we are going through. And in each body, the living entity performs so many activities. There is not a moment that one is not doing something. He's always doing something or the other. So sometimes he becomes a great hero because he's doing great things like Hiranyakashipu, like Hitler, like Napoleon. What is the other example he gave? Hitler, Napoleon of modern comes and Hiranyakashipu of those times. Things didn't change. Then they remain in this name in the name only after they are gone, after they are killed. What is so great about Hitler? Therefore, a living entity may become Prahat Shrava. Uh, he may be great reputation. Nonetheless, he has a friend whom he does not know. Materialistic person do not understand the God is present as super soul, who is situated within the heart of living entities. Although the Paramatma is one second. Although the Paramatma, yeah, he sits beside the Jivatma as a friend, according to the Upanishad, still the Jiva is not seeing him. The word Avijnata Chetasa indicates, is very important here because living entity works hard under the direction of Paramatma. Avijnata Chetasa. Chetasa means action, and action uh, under the influence of Avijnata. That person who we don't know, he is the one who is there. And because we are thinking I'm fully independent, I'm doing whatever I want, no, we are not able to do. We want to jump into the waters that we can have a great uh, happiness, but uh, we are mm, conditioned by it, the effects of it, because the loss of nature. The loss of nature is the water doesn't has the same oxygen levels that it's in the air outside the water. So in that way, the laws of nature, which is nothing other than the power of the Lord, is always influencing us. Mm. So nonetheless, he thinks himself independent of God and independent of stringent laws of material nature. Huh? Achetyoyam, hmm? Achetyoyam, adahyoyam, akledasyasya evacha, nitya sarvagatas dhanur, achaloyam, sanatana. Krishna is saying that individual jiva is unbreakable. That is clear. He is also insoluble and can never burn or died, dried. Sorry. He is everlasting, all-pervading, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. The living entity is Sanatana. This is our nature. Although he is changing his bodies, he is not affected uh, by the material conditions. He is placed under the material conditions according to the direction of his friend, who is that super soul. That's why if I want to be happy, if you want to be happy, if you know someone want to be happy, the solution is we should connect ourselves, understand more about this abhigyata. To understand more is to do what? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. When we engage in these three processes, yeah, then we know about that unknown person more. When we know about the unknown person, we also know who are we, and we know our eternal relationship is to serve him. Then our goal is achieved. Uh, Krishna is saying that I'm not elsewhere. Yeah, he's also saying sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smriti gnanam apohanam cha. So from me, the remembrance and forgetfulness both come from me. Where am I? I'm inside your heart. And what is the purpose of it? He says that Vedescha sarvam ahameva vedyas. He's saying Vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. So the ultimate goal of all these things, I am present in your heart, and the purpose of it is that to know me, that I am the essence of the Vedas. So this is the understanding. So this is all in this life and in his previous living lives. The living entity does not know that the Lord is giving him a chance to fulfill all kinds of desires. No one can fulfill any desire without the sanction of the Lord. This is very clear. We may have planned so many things without the Lord. We may think that the Lord is not Anumanta. I am the Anumanta. I am dictating my own life. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone's support. I know I have some friends who will support me, or even not. I have my family. Family will support me. Even if not, I have my own body, physical strength, mental intelligence. I can support myself. No, there are so many examples uh, that such people just doomed to end without. They might think that I am cause of my happiness. Mm. I create everything my own. Where is the role of Lord? Where is the role of someone else? The role of the Lord is that He is there inside our heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta. I am present in the heart. Can we remove Him and then do the everything? Huh? We may even deny that presence of the Lord, but the Lord Himself is saying that I am present. Mm. Okay. Simple thing. What happens is we cease to exist. We have to find a different body. Mm. So this is the understanding. The Lord is present in our heart. That He Himself declares in Bhagavad Gita. Uh, uh, what is that? Upadrashta Anumantasya. Mm. So Narad Muni is saying, King Puranjan, this King Puranjan started searching for a suitable place to live. And for that matter, he traveled all over the world. Uh, Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just to his liking. Finally, he became morose and disappointed. An example of this can be taken as, people uh, when they are when the time comes that they have settled in their life. Now the next thing is only marriage. What will one do? He will have so many. do you call this? Criteria to shortlist. Well, that this girl should have all these qualities or this boy should have all these qualities. Only if these qualities are met, then he is a perfect choice for me. And because that will be the case, let me wait. And after waiting few months, after waiting few years, one comes to an understanding that it's not at all possible. It's impossible to have a perfect match. Or though there is a perfect match, we do not appreciate what is a perfect match. And in this searching business, what happens is one is losing the opportunity of what is the best that he could embrace for that moment. And finally, he gets to a compromise. Whatever, jo bhi milega, chalega. Sanoj Prabhu, nahi? Isn't that fact? Not that you are looking for a girl. I'm just saying you might also have seen such truth uh, coming your way, or someone would have experienced. I don't know. Anyway, so the point here is that here Puranjan has been traveling to find a suitable place to live, and what does that mean? Is that a, a jiva, a soul, is also traveling. He's traveling. So travelings of Puranjan are similar to the travelings of modern hippies. Generally, hippies are sons of great fathers and great families, right? It is not that they are always poor, but some way or the other, they abandon the shelter of their real father and travel all over the world. So we don't know because we have abandoned our father. If you know in the Discover Yourself, the first session is about search for happiness. Yeah, this is the search for happiness. Why? Because we left our father and we thought we can be happy. So this traveling of Pranjan is what we are already doing. And in this process, what are we doing? As stated in this verse, the living entity wants to become a Prabhu, master. The word Prabhu means master, but actually the living entity is not a master. He is eternal servant of the Lord. He is the eternal servant of the God. And when the living entity abandons the shelter of God, Krishna, and then tries to become Prabhu independently, then the traveling starts. From the home, he starts traveling. He enters into the material world and goes through 8.4 million species of and millions and trillions of planets within the creation. He keeps going from there to here, here to there. The living entity wanders through these various types of bodies and throughout different planets. And thus he is like King Puranjan who traveled all over the world looking for a suitable place to live. Narottam Das Thakur, in his poem, he is writing Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishera Bhanda. Bhanda means pot. What kind of Bhanda it is? Vishera means poisonous. Karma Kanda, people are looking, maybe by Karma Kanda, I will get some higher planets that I can enjoy that comfort. Or Jnana Kanda means I go to higher planets so that there is more peace of mind, that is more free from all suffering. Uh, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda are Kevala Vishara Bhanda. The fruitu and speculation are just like strong pots of poison. Amrita Baliya, Eva Kaya, Nana Yoni, Sada Fire. What is happening because of this? A person who mistakes this poison to be nectar, what happens is it drinks, it travels in different species of life. Mm. Narottam Das Thakur points out that living entity travels in different types of bodies and eats all kinds of abominable things. The question sometimes, people will ask, do you like eating stool? People will say, uh, yeah, yeah, why not? Then, yeah, if such a person has interest in that, then he will take uh, life of a hog or a dog to eat that. When he does not become ultimately happy, he becomes morose and takes to the ways of hippies. Uh, Thus, in this verse, Anurupam, that a king could never find a place suitable for his purposes. This is because in any form of life, on any planet in material world, living entity cannot be happy because everything in the material world is unsuitable for the spirit soul. It is something like we are looking for happiness in a place of miseries. Uh, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing Miche Mayera Vashe, Yacha Beshe, Kach, Kacha Habu Dubu Bhai. My dear living entity, why are you being carried away by the waves of Maya? So this particular verse Prabhupada is elaborating to explain us that Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridese Arjuna Tishtati. Where is the Lord staying? He is staying in the heart. And Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. And what is happening? Who the Supreme Lord is seated inside the heart, who are seated as a machine made of the material energies. So and then he's directing everyone sitting in the heart. He's directing everyone to wander, who is wandering in this material world. So the living entity is carried in the machine of body. This is what Puranjan, through so many species of life, so many planets. Uh, Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked the living entity why he is being carried away in this material machine to be placed so many different circumstances. Rather, he says, just uh, surmount the waves of Maya by surrendering to Krishna. He is saying, Jiva Krishna Dasa e Vishwasa. When we have faith in the words in Krishna, Jiva Krishna Das, Karle ta ara dukha nai. So, this is also what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharma Parityachya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Mascha. So, he's saying, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. This is what. Otherwise, we may just keep on going. We know that even Brahma, Krishna is saying, A Brahma Bhuvana Lokana Punar Avrittena Arjuna. So, Punar Avartino Arjuna means even Brahma has to take birth again. His lifespan is 10, his lifespan is 100 years, Mahakalpa. Uh, but still doesn't mean that he can live forever. Spirit can live, but in the form of Brahma, in the body, in the role, even he has to leave the body. So King Puranjan was looking, and you know what? Finally, uh, had unlimited desires for sense enjoyment. Consequently, he traveled all over the world to find place where all his desires could be fulfilled. Isn't it? It's not so amazing, right? So it's also like we want to be a place where we can enjoy it the best with no gaps. The enjoyment, the satisfaction should be like a free flowing honey, free flowing nectar, not like what do you call this, water coming out of a gutter. Unfortunately, he found a feeling of insufficiency everywhere. So this is also what we feel. But if someone asks how are you, we just say, hey, I am fine. We don't want to bore him, or make him feel happy. If I'm telling I'm not happy, the other person is happy. I don't want to see him happy. That becomes me more unhappy, and that's why I'm fine is better. But truth is that even we travel all over, whatever we do, we will not find ultimate happiness. Vidyapati, he says, Tatala Saikati Vari Bindu Sama. Hmm? How much Vari Bindu Sama is? Sutamita Ramani Samaj. Means material sense gratification with society, friendship, and love is herein compared to a drop of water falling on a desert. How much water is needed for desert? Huh? Just a drop doesn't do anything, isn't it? A desert requires an ocean of water to satisfy it, because there is no water. There is so much scarcity that quantity of ocean can satisfy. And if only a drop of water is supplied, what is it use? It's no use. Similarly, living entity is part and parcel of the Lord, and who is stated in Vedanta Sutra as Anandamayo Bhyasat, means full of enjoyment. When we demand such a great enjoyment, but if we are not getting it here in the material world, this is our situation. Complete enjoyment cannot be achieved separate from the Supreme Person of Godhead. In his wanderings in the different species of life, the living entity may taste some type of enjoyment in one body or another, but full enjoyment of senses cannot be obtained in any material body. Thus, Puranjan is wandering in different types of bodies, but everywhere meets frustration in his attempt to enjoy. In other words, the spiritual spark covered by matter cannot fully enjoy the senses. We know that in the Shankara Chudamani, I think. In the Shankara Chudamani, there is this very nice verse which is telling about this Garuda Puran. In reference, there is this Kuranga Matanga Patanga Brunga Meena Hata Panchabir Eva Pancha Ekam Pramad Asa Katham Na Hanyate Yah Sevate Panchabir Eva Pancha. In Garuda Puran, this is what comes also in the Shankara Chudamani. I don't know which Chudamani. There is also this nice that there is this Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Brunga, Meena, Hata. These are 5. And each, like the bees, the deer, the elephant, the moth, the fish, these 5 are destroyed by 5 sense objects because they cannot control themselves when they are getting happiness from the senses. Uh, just like a fish cannot control itself when there is a hanging food in the form of, what is it called? Fisherman throws a small worm and the fish is eager to eat. So the weakness of it is what? Eating. Then there is this honey bee. Honey bee is weakness is smell. Of course, that itself is its potency because with that smell it goes to a flower and then it can suck the nectar from that and then yeah, that way it can live. But it is also its weakness because uh, what did I say? Yeah, the smell. Because of that smell, it's get intoxicated. Because of that, it's intoxication that it faints and then yeah, it's covered and inside within the flower and then yeah, because of suffocation, choking, it dies. What did I say? Kuranga. And then there is a deer. Deer is captivated by the sound. When there's a pleasant flute that is played, then because of the flute, then what is happening? It's thinking, oh, let me stay here for a while. The hunter, I don't care. Let me hear to this flute. But the flute is played by the hunter, and in that way the deer is caught. Matanga, uh, elephant. Elephant's weakness is its sense of touch. I see that this is very, very dangerous. We may see the skin is protecting us from heat. The skin is means through which I can beautify myself. The skin is a means through which um, I look attractive. So all these things, but the weakness of skin is that it can invoke sense of attraction to the opposite sex. In the case of elephant, a she elephant is brought and close to a male elephant, and then this she elephant is rubbing and then runs. The it is made that this she elephant runs in the direction where there is a pit covered by some grass or something, and the male elephant unknowingly running behind the she elephant is falling into it. I don't know the other way also, but so in that way, elephant's weakness is sense of touch. Uh, Kurunga, Matanga, Patanga. Patanga is the moth. We are talking about that moth which is flying. It flies so freely. Who doesn't want it? We all want freedom so that we can fly high. Mm. But what happens to this moth is that this flying makes it possible that it can fly even to a hot, mm, what do you call, burning, um, what do you call it? Sun, yeah, sun. So it gets more closer and cold because it sees wow, 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 and it goes to this what do you call lamp, where it is seeing oh there is so much light and heat, and because of this, it goes and then it gets captured and then it eventually burns its own wings and dies. And then so anyway, in this way, that these 5 senses objects are weak, their weaknesses. Uh, and it is said that human beings, when ekam pramadi, when one sense object, the sense organ itself is weak for one of these, what to talk about us? Yeah, sevate panchabir eva pancha. And then the human being is the one, is, he partakes of all five, is ruined by these five. He is just carried away. Just imagine all these five senses are pulling us at the same time in all directions. Uh, what is the chance that he can live? It's very, very difficult. Uh, so this is the problem of the Vishaya, the world where we are living. And it is also referred in the Sukti Sudhakara. This is so important and so relevant to help us understand that the senses can catch us and can pull us and, yeah, mm, destroy or derail us from our path of journey. So, so in this way, we have to understand, Prabhupada in the purport he's giving. So as he tries to satisfy his senses more and more, he becomes more and more entangled. Mm. And Puranjan, once while wandering in this way, he saw on the southern side of Himalaya, in a place named Bharatavarsha, India, a city that had 9 gates all about and was characterized by all auspicious facilities. I'll talk about from here maybe in the coming weeks. But are there any questions? Anyone want to tell something in this context or have any questions? Yeah, feel free to speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, it was very nice to hear that finally Puranjana found such place. Would he be satisfied with this place in the future?
Yeah, I think always we are thinking that this body is the best. Similarly, a pig is thinking this body is so nice, but we know what happens, right? Is the pig body the end of everything? No, the evolution goes on. The evolution of the soul goes from one body to the other body to come to the realization where it sees that in the human form of life, mm, um, there are these 9 gates, but how to engage with the 9 gates? I mean, all these things. This is also the purpose of Narad Muni saying that, hey, even if you got this human form of life, yeah, if we don't take care, then we can just simply waste our life, which is eye-opening, which means being in a Bharatavarsha. Narad Muni is saying, if someone is born and brought up in India, mm, or lives in India, yeah, there is some fair chances because there is still some piety there and purity there, but still one have to be extra careful because as soon as when we know that this is safe place, uh, our braces are more loose, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So that is a challenge. So rather, if we know that I'm in on the border, so I'll be more alert than in the center of the country.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Good. I don't know, did I answer your question, but yeah, and the purpose we'll hear in the next chapters, like it's a story not just of one chapter or a few verses, but we will enjoy this going forward, what happens.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, once again, I did not understand Prachin Barhi and Prachin Parishad. Could you once again?
No, no, Prachina Parishad. Yeah, Prachetas are the sons of Prachina Parishad. He is called Prachina Parishad because of his greatness of doing all the yajnas and sacrifices and ruling the world very, very nicely. So what happened is he became even Prajapati, and that's being very, very old and what do you call this? Famous. That's why he's called Prachina Parishad.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Ajay Prabhu, Satish Prabhu, what did you find interesting?
Hare
If at
Krishna.
all.
Yes, Prabhuji. I think what you mentioned about Narada Muni, the way we, whatever they told years ago, sorry, I don't know, yugas ago are still applicable today. And
That
yeah,
is also one of the tests, yeah, because there's so many books that are written today, right? Do you know there is a book on dummies for C? What is dummies for C? Or anyway, there are so many books, right, written after few weeks or months. Again, there is a new book and another book. In that way, the books keep changing. But the Vedas are not like that. The more they are changed, the more they are far from reality. Mm. So yeah, the test of the Vedas is that it is still valid to date and will be valid for future also.
yes, Prabhuji, because I was also recently reading a book, Psychology of Money, Prabhuji. I think I spoke about it earlier also. Many things, it is very relatable to what, I don't know, the roots are going back to what, you always tell in this class. I don't know if it's because I am relating it or they have already, referred to. But also Keshav Maharaj used to say, all the big books, I forgot the names of the books, Prabhuji. Everything has its roots from Bhagavad Gita. I've seen Keshav Maharaj say,
Mm.
so I
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Of course, recently I heard someone who did analysis. He was saying Bhagavad Gita contains only 40-50% of the Vedas. Huh? But I think when we have the essence, yeah. So do we really care? Just like when we're talking about yeah, if you want to make um, uh, you have an orange fruit, right? Yeah. When you want to make the juice, you drink mainly the juice, right? Not the skin, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so that juice is more what we call essence of Vedas, Vedantas, and Krishna is saying ultimately the purpose of Vedas is to know Him and Bhagavad Gita. Which book can give us such a great understanding about the greatness of Krishna Himself is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So if we know this, that means we know everything what we need to know.
True, yeah. Good news, Prabhuji. Yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hema Gauri Mataji, nice to see you.
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
Every day we have to remember this these points. They are
Mm.
very useful. But every second we have to remember whatever you have said today. Yeah,
Mm.
with practice of good sadhana is possible.
Yeah.
Thank
Only
you, Prabhuji.
sadhana can save us.
Yeah,
Yeah. That is the only thing, because otherwise knowing all these things, sometimes even backfires us, because we may start developing, hey, I know this, because I know this, then I don't need to know more, because this is what is essence. I already know the essence. But sadhana is the thing that puts us to be humble. Otherwise, there are these jnana kandis, karma kandis, right? Kandis means, yeah, they are getting jnana, but they misuse it. How to avoid service. There are karma kandis, they are not interested in doing karma yoga. They are interested only, if I get benefit, then only I will do. Yeah, because even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying there are three kinds of charities. There are three kinds of austerities. A karma kandis is what is best that he can get. Yeah, yeah, nice point. Thank you. Sadhana is the key. Thank you very much. Okay.
So Prabhuji, there is difference between Karma Kandi and Karma Yogis, that Karma Kandi does for himself and Karma Yogi for Lord, or
Yeah. Yes, that is the main difference. Karma kandi is following the Vedas so that he can get best out of the material world, that he can enjoy in this world or in any other planets. Karma yogi is not interested. Karma yogi is doing activities for the pleasure of the Lord. So whatever activity he's doing, that is doing for the Lord. Hmm? So like there is always this question: is it not then bhakti yoga? Why do we call it karma yoga? Now bhakti yoga is even more matured form of karma yoga. So, which means where we are totally absorbed. Yes, Lord, I am really doing it, and your direct service to the Lord is bhakti yoga. Hmm?
yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Sindhu Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. I thought on this only minimal verses we had like great lessons learned, Prabhuji. Like one should not forget the origin, like from where we are coming from the God. Like once we come here, we want a free life, free will. Everyone is thinking, okay, we are not attached to the Father, and we are out of the wherever we go. We are not. We are thinking we are free and all this. We should not forget the path where we are coming from, and everyone is thinking like if some people don't understand what is the purpose of life, like why we are here, and if we say also they are like they are become rude, and you said like the words, it's true because they are not interested in learning the what we are, and what is the purpose of what we have to do. We are changing body from body, like the soul is just changing, but even we have 10 different lives also. If we didn't know the purpose of life, it is not uh, not valid privilege. We should know what is the purpose of living.
There is no way out by neglecting or by saying being ignorant. As I said, that's the reason also I went a little slow today, because I hope others from our groups can also join, then they can also hear, because everything is very much related to our own self.
Yes, Prabhuji, so many lessons to learn. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yeah, Bhagavatam is a treasure house for devotees. If you want to become devotee, then Bhagavatam is the treasure house. Okay, then wish you a nice weekend. Tomorrow, I think we can still have Bhagavad Gita. So Makarand Prabhu kindly ask you to post it. In the worst case, if it doesn't happen, then I'll let you know. But again, this is also a new chapter, so I encourage everyone, please spread the word to everyone whom you can reach. It's about a very, very nice divine and demonic natures. Very, very nice. It will evoke our interest and understanding. Okay. Vanchakalparabhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Hardas Thakur ki jai. Nithaya Gaura Premanandi. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.